And we're live. Welcome to Nerd Stock Talk. As you see, we kind of upgraded a bit of our studio. We changed some things about.
I really like what you've done with the place.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's the curtains. I'm not sure, but it's nice. It's nice.
It took me all week to just get this up. Got a new logo. I tell you, we're going in the height. We're going to high stakes here stuff here, JP. So I like. So what are you drinking tonight? What do you got with you?
What I have here is a little what is that? 8-ounce mason jar, probably. Yeah. It's
about
half full with a nice Merlot, which is a red wine. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, there you go. A Merlot, huh? There you go.
A Merlot, yes.
I'm drinking. Well, here I got. So I'm drinking. If anybody's seen these little tea diffusers here. So I got here with it. So you got to take the cap off, and then in here you have this tea. You have your loose leaf tea in this little strainer inside, and
you're going to be really into your tea for that.
Yeah, I am. I'm a tea.
You must be older than 45.
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh.
Well, 20. I'm gonna be 45. I'm gonna be 45 this year. So
this year. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm drinking like a nice it's like a lavender chamomile tea. So So you're drinking something to make you relax. I'm drinking something else to make me relax.
This has got cold brew coffee undertones, is what the bottle said.
Oh, is that the one with Is that the one Was that the Apothic Red? Is the Apothic Brown?
Apothic Brown.
Okay.
I think it says brown. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's right. Be humble, work hard, and be kind. Right? Is that what the? Stay humble. Okay, that's what it was. All right. Pretty good, man. All right. So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff tonight. So we're gonna be talking about Bitcoin. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna do a deep dive of Bitcoin, and so before we do that, we always want to check in. We always want to check in to see how our long picks are doing. And so we'll just jump right into that. So JP, you got to tell me what is going on with the stock market these last few weeks. It's been hard to watch, man.
Yeah, it's a sector rotation, as they say. I don't know what else it could be.
A sector rotation. So inform our audience what is that? What's a sector rotation?
So hedge funds and financial firms and all the big money in the market were sort of chasing the gains that were happening in the tech sector.
Okay.
And they moved all their fund money into those sectors, which caused them to grow even further and created a bubble in a lot of those stocks.
Right.
And as they've rotated out, those stocks are returning back to the normal trend line.
Okay.
So this is not unexpected. You always hope that the bubble is gonna just continue to ride and earnings will start to match the stock prices, but that hasn't happened. So we're going to be settling back down to the 200-day moving average, most likely.
And so do you have, and we talked in over the week, you sent something about was that a prediction you put in there that there was going to be, Canoe was going to go up from
so Canoe is one of the highest shorted stocks in the market right now. I think it's number 2 right now. It would have a 10-day cover. So based on the volume that GoEV transacts in stocks, it would take 10 days for the short interest to be completely covered. That's a similar situation to what happened with GameStop.
Right.
smaller scale, but still similar situation. So the potential for a short squeeze on Canoe right now is really huge. It's being heavily shorted, which is what's depressing the price.
Okay, so good time to buy more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy the dip.
Yeah, this is it's dipped pretty low now. It's like what, $7 now or something around there?
Something like that. 7. I think it's headed back up. I thought it was $8.50 at one point on Friday.
Yeah, man, that'd be good. Man, I can't do much with what I've been putting into my stocks because they're all lower than normally, so I can't do anything right now. So I want to
back into the corner.
Yeah, I'm back to the corner. I'm like, I can't. Yeah. My wife saw how much I put in the stock so far, and she.
What you can do is sell calls.
We're gonna have to talk about that. I gotta figure out, because I took your advice and started at least buying 100 shares of different things just so I can start buying. So is that the one where you have, if you have 100 shares of something, you can do, is it puts or calls?
You'll sell a call.
Okay.
Sell a call just out of where you think it might go.
Okay. All right. And you kind of hope for that. Okay. Yeah, I gotta do that. Man.
So and put it just out of your cost per share.
Right.
So that if it does go up, at least you're getting your money back. You're not losing money.
It's true, man. I'm looking forward.
I've got a few stocks right now that are so low that even if I sold calls, the calls are worthless at the cost I'm into them for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta start doing something with at least with my Disney stock and my Viacom stock. I gotta do something to.
Those are really good stocks to sell calls on too.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta do that. Yeah, I gotta do that. I mean, at least do something with that. But yeah, so those that are listening, so please go ahead and like and subscribe our show. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. JP, you don't have your Twitter handle up, or you're not you.
Oh, sorry. You can see me.
You usually put your Twitter handle on the thing.
I have a Twitter handle?
I thought you had a Twitter. Or no, was that?
Yeah, I have a Twitter, but I don't even know what my handle is.
Oh, okay.
I think I've gotten on Twitter like 3 times.
Oh, okay. People are. I mean, you might be hashtagged.
Well, then tweet me something so I'll go on there. I don't get any notifications.
I guess I'll have to.
Tweets at me.
Yeah.
Is that what you do? You do tweet at people?
I think you tweet. Yeah.
Okay.
We're so Gen. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we got to get a millennial on here who can probably teach us how that, or even a Gen Zer right now. But you had so check us out. We're on Instagram, Twitter. Story Comic is on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Just for Story Comic. So like and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Chat us, live chat. We're always here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There it is. Yeah. Kyle's mentioned jpwildman.com. So
yes.
You can find him. All right. So we are going to jump right into our feature segment for the night. So here we go. So we had it was about a
that segment always ends so soon. I'd never have chance.
You never have a chance to wax your mustache. So we had about 1,000 or so comments that came out that were asking us, like, talk more about crypto, and like we had people from ranging from Elon Musk to Kyle French. We had people
so many people.
Yeah,
from all over the Eastern.
Yes, we everybody's like, Nerd Stock Talk, please, Barney and JP, talk to us more about crypto.
It took me a good I can't even tell you how long it took me to get through the fan mail last week. It was
amazing. Yeah, there's so many people just begging to hear more about crypto.
And it's weird to write us with actual letters. It's just
it was amazing.
It's heartwarming. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, and I know, like, we had Bruce Richards on a few weeks ago. He sent us a telegram asking us to.
He did, yes.
Talk more about crypto.
He picked one of those up at a yard sale. It was.
Yeah.
Showed us how to use it. It was great.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So AOL keyword. So AOL keyword. Nerd Stock Talk. So. That's our Gen Z. That's our Gen X version of that is the AOL keyword. That's like our thing.
Not about AOL keywords.
Yeah.
Remember they used to mail you CDs in the mail?
Yeah, man. See, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. The good old days.
So what we're doing a series, and we're going to be talking about different cryptocurrencies, and we're going based off of not popularity but chronological order. So
chronological order. Interesting.
Yeah. So we talked about. So that was one of the things.
Well, this is going to be a fascinating segment.
This is going to be fascinating because the very first one is Bitcoin. Bitcoin came out in 2007? 2009, was it?
Yes.
Okay. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to, kind of talk to everybody about, cryptocurrency, and which ones, because you did mention before that the history of Bitcoin 2009. You're right. So 2009 is when Satoshi Nakamoto created it.
One of the fishiest stories of creation of anything I've ever heard of, by the way.
So Bitcoin started it all, right?
Yeah. This was a cryptocurrency was kind of it was like, that math problem you always hear that was like, it was, on the teacher's chalkboard, it was unsolvable. And then this student kind of came in and thought it was homework and solved it and turned it in. And it was like, he was like, won the Nobel Prize for physics or something. That's kind of like what Bitcoin is for cryptographic.
So wait, you just literally described like the story of Good Will Hunting. Is he Good Will Hunting?
Kind of a cryptocurrency, cracking that and making one that works and is secure was that, that achievement for cryptographic programmers. And there were forums and websites and all kinds of nerd crypto talk hangouts for people that were into trying to make this happen, and a lot of collaborations and such. And this guy Satoshi Nakamoto dropped into a forum and said, "Hey, here you go, guys, I did it." And there it was. There's Bitcoin, and all these other guys are like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And the rest is history. He dropped the white paper describing it all and dropped the link to the nodes, and everybody started using it and improving upon it, developing it further and further, and that was the beginning of Bitcoin. Nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto was. He disappeared. There's a few people now claiming to have been them, but it's sort of been debunked that they actually were him. Nobody's really provided any proof. All of the Bitcoins that Satoshi Nakamoto originally mined are still in the very first Bitcoin wallet, have not been spent.
Wow.
So who knows? It's kind of a strange story, one of those things that's just like, who was this guy? Or girl.
So what was the reason to create Bitcoin in the first place?
To create a digital currency that is unhackable. It's just as good as paper currency, but it's with bits and bytes. You can't steal it unless you know someone's password or whatever security features they have. And it works just as well as cash does. Sort of does away with the opportunity for hackers to steal your credit card number. As you're, using credit cards across the internet is probably one of the worst ideas anyone's ever had. It's almost impossible to keep your credit card number from prying eyes on the internet. And Bitcoin was sort of designed to fix that, to solve that problem.
Okay.
Now, understandably, banks and financial institutions all the way up to central government banks are a little bit hesitant about this whole thing. Not a lot of people realize that the credit card companies make an awful lot of money anytime someone uses plastic at a cash register or at a gas pump or anywhere they go. 3 to 4% of that sale comes off the top and goes to the banks. So 3 to 4% of every transaction in the economy is going to the banks right now. If Bitcoin becomes adopted and starts being used, or any sort of cryptocurrency, that 4% rider that the banks are getting on every transaction on the economy goes away, and they stand to lose a lot of money, which is one of the reasons, Bitcoin sort of gained popularity on the coattails of the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Okay.
That was right around the time Occupy Wall Street was taking off, and Bitcoin was sort of seen as a tool to sort of stick it to the banks, and that was the genesis of Bitcoin,
of the popularity of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Satoshi, he didn't. But he didn't do that because of Occupy Wall Street. He created that, and then Occupy Wall Street kind of utilized
it. Yeah. I mean, it was a matter of coincidental timing, I'm sure. I don't think one was sort of related to the other, but it just so happened that the sentiment was there to really give Bitcoin that push it needed to sort of take off among the Occupy Wall Street community, and that's what I think catapulted it into where it is today.
So talk to us a bit about, because if this is Bitcoin specific or if it's all cryptocurrencies, the issue of how much energy it takes to make it. What's the issue on that?
Well, I am not sure that there really is an issue. I don't know if anyone's ever done a study about how much energy the current financial system uses.
Okay.
When you factor in credit card terminals and Brinks trucks and printing presses and paper and ink and just everything involved, I don't think that the current financial system is any less energy intensive than Bitcoin would be. But if we're talking about Bitcoin, what happens is the mining difficulty, the amount of computing power that it takes to process a transaction and mine a Bitcoin doubles every so many transactions. So as of now, it's taking an enormous amount of computing power to process Bitcoin transactions, which is by design. Right. As more Bitcoins are in circulation and are out there, and computers following Moore's law roughly double every 10 years or so. That was sort of built into the Bitcoin DNA. So it's incredibly energy intensive, but I disagree that it's any more energy intensive than the current financial system. I think the jury's still out on that. Most of the places that see concentrated, centralized Bitcoin mines, because corporations now are filling warehouses full of Bitcoin mining machines to make money as a revenue stream. Most of those places are located in places where electricity is really, really inexpensive. That's the only way you can make it. You can make the numbers work on that. And it just so happens that the places that electricity is really cheap are places that are using renewable resources for energy. So, when you take it all into context, I think it's just maybe it's some of the old dinosaurs of the financial system just trying really hard to discredit a threat. I don't know. That's probably what it is.
So what makes Bitcoin, other than being the very first cryptocurrency, what makes it stand out? What makes it unique to the other cryptocurrencies out there?
Well, I mean, everything is built upon Bitcoin, really, on that idea. Bitcoin was the first. So every other Bitcoin, every other crypto really owes itself to that main idea of the blockchain technology that came with Bitcoin.
Right.
They're all different. They all do different things. There's all sorts of uses for different cryptos these days. But at its base, the blockchain is the heart of them all. The decentralized ledger.
And so what does, because as you mentioned, different cryptocurrencies serve different purposes. Is Bitcoin, because it's the first one, is it just the generic cryptocurrency, or does it have a specialty?
The current Bitcoin, its specialty is a store of value. That is how it's being built. Okay. So it's aiming to take the place of gold. It's aiming to be a digital gold, and that's the market it's looking for within the financial system. And that's the interesting thing is when Bitcoin first came out, nobody foresaw that there'd be all these other competing cryptocurrencies looking to do different things and satisfy and work for different segments of the market. And I think the idea is Bitcoin will be the reserve currency, the reserve digital currency on which all these other cryptos are sort of valued or derive their value from.
So that you, for instance, like next week we'll talk about Ethereum. There's Binance Coin, Cardano, Dogecoin, Tether. All these, their value is based off of kind of like the quote unquote gold standard, but the Bitcoin standard of value.
Not intrinsically.
Okay.
But sort of whatever. If Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the market tends to go up. If Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market tends to go down. Okay. So they sort of are in the way that the world financial economy is based on the value of the dollar.
Right.
If the U.S. dollar goes up or the U.S. dollar goes down, it has a ripple effect on other world currencies for various reasons, and that's sort of similar to Bitcoin and these other cryptocurrencies.
And people who are watching or listening, what would be the best way to look at investing and getting Bitcoin right now?
Man, there are so many. It's really hard to keep up. It used to be when I bought my first Bitcoins, I had to go on this video game file trading site where they trade like digital swords and games and stuff. And that's where it was called Veervox, and that's where you'd get your Bitcoin. It was really sketchy, and I was really scared that I'd lose my identity when I bought my first Bitcoins, but it worked out. Everything was fine, and now you can get it on PayPal, on Robinhood, on Cash App, on Venmo, I believe has it. Any cash site, internet payment site has the option to buy crypto now. If you're looking to trade crypto like you do, like Robinhood, and swing trade it, day trade it, and bounce back and forth between currencies, I'd recommend Coinbase just for its simplicity and ease of use.
Right.
It's probably not the best if you're really looking to trade a lot or make a lot of money because the fees are a little high. If you're trading under $100 at a time, not a big deal. But if you're trading thousands of dollars, it becomes a big deal. But if you're just looking to dabble and learn and experience it and get to understand what it's about, I think Coinbase would be a fine option.
So for instance, in Coinbase, is it almost kind of like a bank account where if the value of Bitcoin goes up, so does your wallet in Coinbase?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you buy $100 of Bitcoin, you have $100 of Bitcoin in your wallet.
Right.
The value of that goes to 150. It's going to show you having 150 in your wallet. You sell that Bitcoin back on the market, and then you can transfer your money out of Coinbase. It takes a day or two for those transactions to clear in between your bank and into Coinbase. As you deposit more money, I believe if you have over $500 in your Coinbase wallet, you can make those transactions. I don't want to say they're instantaneous, but virtually instantaneous.
Right.
all depending on your bank's speed with processing it.
Right. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, that's fun. So, do different. And I don't want to jump ahead and talk about other cryptos right now, but I'm so tempted. But like, do you have? But is there like a base fee on Coinbase, or different cryptos have different trading fees?
Well, there's the fee that the actual coin has. So just trading if I had an offline wallet that was, or a off exchange wallet, and you had an off exchange wallet and you wanted to buy Bitcoin from me, we could do that, and we would pay a fee to the network, to the computers that are processing that transaction.
It's like an ATM fee, basically.
Yes. Yeah. So on Coinbase, if I am sending you Bitcoin and we're both on Coinbase, we would not be paying that ATM fee
because it's our bank.
Our coins are on Coinbase. The downside of Coinbase is that you don't actually own the coins in your wallet. You own the coins, but you don't have the private keys to the coins. That's the way Coinbase avoids paying exorbitant transaction fees. Here's the thing about Bitcoin is the transaction fees are enormous. To send $25 in Bitcoin at one point when there's heavy traffic on the network, it costs $27.
It costs more to trade it than it is that much here.
There are times, depending on how congested the network is, it can cost more to trade it than it's worth. And that is sort of by design. As we move into the history of Bitcoin, come along 2017, the network started getting really congested. And the fees were becoming really, really high. And there's only one way to rectify that, and that is to increase the block size. So from 1 megabyte to 10 megabytes to 100 megabytes, whatever, you can increase the size of the blocks exponentially. So half the miners decided they were going to increase the block size, and this other bank, this corporation called Blockstream, which is invested in by a bunch of banks, they bought a bunch of mining machines, a bunch of nodes, and they were able to gain 51% of the hash rate of Bitcoin. And they kept going with the Bitcoin name and decided that they were going to keep this other chain that's just too small to process transactions and has really high transaction fees. They were going to keep it going, and instead of having a network upgrade and making Bitcoin improve, half of them went one way, half of them went the other, and now you have two different coins. One was called Bitcoin, one is now called Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is identical to Bitcoin. The only thing that's different is the size of the blocks is bigger. So to transact in Bitcoin Cash, it's under a penny to send any amount of money.
Oh, wow.
And it's really, really fast. Whereas Bitcoin now takes about 2 days to confirm the transaction. You're sending it anywhere, and it costs a fortune.
Right.
So that's how Bitcoin Cash got started. And the theory goes is that as the rest of the world starts to understand what happened, because Blockstream, not only did they buy a bunch of miners to pull this off, they also have flooded the internet with bots to dispel propaganda about it. And like on Reddit, they took over the Bitcoin subreddit and started banning anyone talking about Bitcoin Cash as if it didn't exist. So it's really quite a story. And as the rest of the world wakes up to this and realizes what a scam sort of Bitcoin is, because once you have it, you can't get rid of it without spending an enormous amount of fees. The theory goes that the values are going to flip, and that all of that market cap that's in Bitcoin is going to start to roll into Bitcoin Cash as the rest of the world realizes that Bitcoin Cash is actually the proper Bitcoin.
Okay, but like you said earlier, though, that would that happen? Will that bring down the value of all crypto? Because you said earlier that Bitcoin is kind of like the quote unquote.
It could, but if it starts to happen, then everyone's going to be pinning. Bitcoin Cash is just going to become Bitcoin, and Bitcoin BTC is just going to become valueless.
Okay,
that's what's probably going to happen. When, Lord only knows. It's been since 2017, but slowly Bitcoin is losing its market cap. It's losing its hash rate. Bitcoin Cash just exceeded, for the last couple of months, has exceeded the transaction rate of Bitcoin. So they're processing more transactions. The value is actually increasing at a faster rate than Bitcoin. It looks really similar to what Bitcoin looked like in 2016, 2017.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, so I think so next week we'll talk about Ethereum. So I see that I couldn't find my chronological order, so I'm looking at by rank. So next week we'll talk Ethereum.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I think that is chronological.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of snuck Bitcoin Cash in there, but I think it was relevant.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and we will be happy to see you next week. And enjoy the week, JP.
No, you enjoy the week.
Okay, thank you. And remember, stay humble, work hard, and be nice. Be kind. There we go. All right.